The Shell Australian Touring Car Championship coming to you from Sydney's Amaroo Park Raceway. 21 laps gone out of a 70-lap schedule. On-screen car number 30, George Fury, the Peter Jackson Nissan, started from 10th position on the grid, is up to 5th place. Good drive by George, but teammate Glenn Seaton, who qualified pretty well in 8th spot, got shuffled back in the early laps and has now disappeared from view altogether. I don't know what's happened, but they're running the two cars at this meeting for the first time this season, and have had ill luck with one of them.
This is the brand new machine. Freddie Gibson has been working hard to have two cars here for this round this afternoon. Really did create a major problem in having two competitive cars. They haven't had a chance to do too much development work. Racing has been their development program so far in 88. It's good to see George Fury back running competitively in the Australian Touring Car Championship. He's 43 years of age, comes from Talmalmo in New South Wales. Winner of the Australian Rally Championship in 77 and 80, pole winner at Bathurst in 84, twice runner-up in the touring car title, and winner of the 86 Sandown 500. One of our Nissan know-how stats on Georgie Fury.
And Glenn Seaton fans take heart. He is still there. I just missed him last time round, back in about 9th position, 10th in fact.
He qualified well yesterday, young Glenn, but it hasn't worked out too well for him today. He didn't get the best of starts.
Jim Richards on screen now. One of the 3 mobile BMW cars going home today. It was Peter Brock and Neil Compton and the others. 6th spot rather for Jim.
The gap between Dick Johnson and John Bauer opened up to 8.4 seconds. And a further 2.6 seconds back, of course, to Andrew Madecki in car number 6, and then just under 7 seconds back to Colin Bond in car number 4. So Johnson has been able to open that at will this afternoon. We all thought leading into the race it would be the closest contest of them all because of qualifying, but one clever Dick is out in front and doing it very, very comfortably indeed. Although I guess you've got a bit of a sweat up, Dick.
Mate, I do. It's pretty hot in here. You know, and I'm not like John. I haven't got a great big drink bottle or anything like that. Actually, he reckons that he even chews his drink bottle cord in half here.
Why don't you pay him enough to feed him then? He wouldn't have to eat it.
Sorry?
I said you should pay him some more so he hasn't got to eat the drink bottle.
Well, I haven't got time. I'm too busy talking to you.
Busy little place, isn't it, Amaroo, on a Sunday?
Mate, this is one hell of a way of getting a sweat up, I tell you. There's absolutely no relief at all here. Here's our Channel 7 mate here. Oh, Crompton, he loves this.
Wave to him as you go past.
Oh, he's doing a good job. Pity, I think they swept the floor and put that one together.
That's a nice pair of shades you're wearing, Dick. Very punkish.
Hey, mate, aren't they, as me 2 kids are here today and say, they're cool, Dad. They're real cool.
Talking about real cool, how's the car running?
I suppose you got to have something, haven't you?
Yep.
Because the sun gets very bad in the afternoon here.
Yes, I just think as this time you come up the hill, the viewers will understand just how bad that sun is. It goes... Maybe it's not in position at the moment, but given another 10 or 15 minutes, it's sheer hell out there. The car seems to be running beautifully. You're opening the gap on John Bauer.
Are we?
Yep, 8.4.
What? Where's Bowie?
Bowie's running in second, about 8.5 seconds behind you, and he's about 2.5 seconds ahead of Andrew Madecki and Colin Bond.
Oh, great stuff.
See, I could have fooled you then and said Bowie's falling back into the clutches. You better get on with it.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll look after you.
Oh, good on you, pal.
Here's another one. Like to talk us around for a lap while you're not busy?
Yeah, why not? Well, this is just the difference between the Squirt of the Sierra and some of the other guys. Because they haven't got a lot of power, we can learn to sort of run past and like this up the hill. And we got a couple of guys here that have their own little private race. And that's what happens when you get caught up in traffic. But this part of the circuit is very, very fast indeed, especially the death ride ender, as Bowie calls it. And down to this tight left, she's back to third. Accelerate, up to fourth. Second gear for the stop corner. Coming on the straight.
Thanks very much, Dickie Johnson. We'll come back and talk with you later. Larry Perkins is in the pits with problems, in for a quick tyre change. I think that's the only way Larry was ever going to do 70 quick laps here today at Amaroo Park.
Twelfth position, Larry Perkins. At the time he came into the pits, he won't be holding that spot down now. Gee, he's anxious to get on with it.
He lit those up nicely. There's Alan Moffett in car number 9 has just worked his way past Peter Brock in the 05 car.
That puts him in 7th place in the number 9 ANZ Sierra.
Running a conservative setup here today for Amaroo Park, as he has been for the previous rounds of the Touring Car Championship. Oh, a little skatey that time. Is it what? He missed the corner completely then, Alan Moffett. There's no such thing as apex there. That was off the ball from the time it came over the hill. They really must be a handful around here with a bit of the oil that's been dropped in previous races. And so much squirt in those Sierras the time they light up the tyres. There's 15, Glenn Seaton, also running in the top 10 this afternoon. Pretty good qualifying effort yesterday in the Peter Jackson Nissan Skyline. As I mentioned, the same with Fury. They're chasing development kilometres with this car, or both cars. The Glenn is a very, very talented young driver, as we discovered, not only in touring car racing last year, when some people thought he was a good thing beaten, but also when we saw him in the Australian Formula 2 Championship race a little earlier this season in Adelaide, when old dearie me, he made a mockery of the field. He's 23 years of age, comes from Melbourne, formerly from Liverpool in Sydney, winner of the 86 Sandown 500, second in the Australian Touring Car title last year, second last year in the James Hardy 1000, and winner of the 88 Adelaide Formula 2 round that we saw on 7 Sport a little earlier in the season. I think I should point out that they passed the 1987 Hardy Trophy over to Peter Brock on Friday night at a reception in Sydney. So the official results, of course, going in favour of Peter Brock. Andrew Bagnall is in the pits in the Oxo Supercube car. Some screaming going on between Andrew, up close and personal, and mechanics. And of course, with Brock receiving the trophy for first place, I'll get this out shortly. There's Trevor Ashby, who's in the Lansvale Smash Repairs car. Oh, he's had a problem. They're getting Trevor going again. As you can see, the pits here at Sydney's Amaroo Park Raceway are very, very congested indeed. Alan Moffett continues in car number 9, the ANZ Sierra. There's Peter Brock, though. Quick as a wink, Astro boy, straight up with the mobile BMW, and beneath Alan Moffett. Moffett had taken something like 15 laps to get by Peter Brock. And Brock is making life very, very difficult for his former co-driver. Alan has a lot more squirt, but the car seems to have gone a little off the boil. There is the gap. Peter Brock to car number 9. Brock running in 7th. Oh! There was a lot there. Brock in 05, running in 7th. Alan Moffett position 8 in the field at the moment. Down to the late corner again. And Alan's Sierra's been waltzing all over the road. He'll be falling back very shortly into the hands of Glenn Seaton, I would think. Seaton just coming into view that time as they came through that tournament, across the start-finishing line.
One good thing about having Neil Crompton out there racing today, you know, is the fact that he's left behind his briefcase
with all these notes.
With all these notes.
And they trouble. Oh, there's Glenn Seaton.
Well, he was in 9th place, Seaton, before coming to the pits after 31 laps.
Peter McKay, our man, is in the pits. Let's go to Peter. What's happening down there, Pete?
Yes, thanks, Mike. The guys are looking under the back of the skyline. Glenn, do you know what the problem is?
Oh, don't really know what the problem is at the moment. Hopefully we can fix it and we'll get back out on the circuit.
Okay, mate, I think they've just about finished. See you later.
I'm not sure if he was talking to Glenn or myself.
We'll go to Glenn.
Dick Johnson coming up. He's going to put a lap on Alan Moffett very, very shortly. They reach the top of Nissan Skyline and drop into the loop. Brock is coming up to put a lap on Park, bringing Moffett along with him, and Johnson is trailing the pair of them. We take race cam again from Dick Johnson's Shell Sierra as he works the back part, the tree line part of the course on Amaroo Park Raceway, one of the country's most picturesque circuits.
Well, the way he's going, Johnson is going to reel these guys in and lap them inside half race distance.
Well, there's Peter Brock. I tell you what, Wayne Park went very wide. He's trying to stay out of everyone's road. Gerald Kay is in there as well. These two guys running their own race in their Commodores. And the man closing on them all the time as we take race cam is Dick Johnson. Just watch the way that Johnson is able to clear the field, clear a couple of the tail enders. He goes past Park, drops down on the inside of Gerald Kay, takes Kay now. It's all entering the loop. He has Alan Moffett ahead of him, and then Peter Brock will be able to gauge the speed difference of these two cars. Believe me, it is dramatic. Moffett gets out in the toolies. Johnson has a little look over his shoulder. They head down the back straight. So Johnson now closing on Peter Brock.
I don't know what the problem was with Glenn Seaton's car, Mike. He's back out on the track, but he's crabbing around the track and going nowhere fast. I think he'll have to come back to the pits.
I think you're right, Gary. He should be down in the loop area. In fact, I would have been surprised if he has had a tyre that's popped on him as well. Should be able to pick it up on Dick Johnson as he makes a run at Peter Brock. He sits right in behind him now. Johnson leading the race, still comfortably from teammate John Bower. Brocky gives Dick some racing room. Well, barely enough. Whoops. And there is Glenn Seaton. Oh, sorry, Dick. Dick was acknowledging the fact that Brocky had moved off line to help him. At the same time, Glenn Seaton is just coasting around the circuit, trying to limp back to the pits. Peter McKay might like to keep an eye on that for us.
Things happen awfully quickly around Amaroo Park, as you just saw that little incident with Johnson. You cannot afford that your concentration lapse here for one fraction of a second.
There's Glenn Seaton hobbling back into the pits in the Peter Jackson Nissan Skyline. We talk about Glenn said, I've had enough. Early shower, boys. Up front, though, the man that's dominated Australian touring car racing in season 88 continues to open the gap over his teammate Dick Johnson. According to our Castrol scoreboard, leads it from John Bower. Andrew Madecki is in third. Colin Bond runs in fourth, and Farmer Fury is fifth. The man who presently runs fourth on the racetrack is the driver of the Caltex number 4 car, Colin Bond, fast qualifier for today's race. Running, I would think, a fairly conservative setup to make sure that he's around at the completion of 70 laps this afternoon. At the moment, he still trails Andrew Madecki, who is in third. Johnny Bowe running second, and is, of course, race leader Dick Johnson. Behind him, George Fury and Jim Richards, and everyone else is at least down a lap on those 6 cars. So at the moment, They are all on the same lap, and then 1 lap down behind them is Peter Brock, Alan Moffett, Neil Crompton and Larry Perkins. So young Neil's on wheels is up to 9th spot.
Bondi made a poor fist at the start, considering that he qualified on pole position. He desperately needs a big win. Of course, his biggest win was the 1969 Bath Classic. He's won the Australian Rally Championship several times, 3 times in fact, as you can see there, and also winner of the 1975 Australian Touring Car title, 3rd in the present series. And I just see George Fury spinning out too down in the lake corner, so that's put him back a couple of notches, and he's hit the wall as well.
Colin Bond disappearing over the top down into the loop. So a little fatigue and tyre wear is certainly going to play its part in today's race. Let's check out what's happening in the pits. Peter Mackay.
Yes, thanks, Mike. The problem with Bondi's car doesn't seem to be tyres. We thought perhaps he was running a very hard compound tyre, but team manager Jimmy Hatfield telling us that perhaps Colin has a brake problem.
He seems to be having a bad lock-up down into Honda Corner and up over the top. So we believe maybe the brake bias is not working correctly and he can't correct the fault. So he's just got to live with the problem, and he's doing quite a good job to keep the car in a straight line every time coming down into Honda.
Now, has Colin got on the hardest possible Toyos, or is he planning a pit stop?
No, we ran the very hard outside tyres with a medium inside, so we're confident that we won't have a tyre problem. We can go the whole distance without a stop, unless he flat spots a tyre with his brake lock-up problem.
Okay, mate, thank you. Mike.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, while all that was happening, we're following Colin Bond. George Fury had a spin over in the lake corner, had a slight touch, I think it was from Larry Perkins, and then Alan Moffett went round unaided in the same spot, but all 3 cars are still up and running.
Alan's Sierra has been waltzing around just a little all day. Thought maybe he may have gone to the pits for a tyre change a little earlier.
There's all the action in the lake corner. Alan Moffett, as we said just a few moments ago. Let's have a look at it on our NEC replay. About to make the right-hander down a gear. Oh, I don't know whether he got a nudge.
Well, but certainly the way he went out of shape, yes. That looked like
Dick Johnson?
Or John Bow.
Or John Bow. Must have been Bow.
I'd say so. Little tap maybe. Moffett got on the brakes early and got a tap in the tail. I don't think it's done a great deal of damage.
Well, he's still in 8th position. And Fury, by the way, maintained 5th position despite his spin.
Andrew Medecky in the pits, the man running 3rd in the race. Peter Mackay is on the scene there. We'll check out shortly what's happening, Pete.
Yes, Mike. Andy's just staring at his gauges, and it doesn't look all that well. I'll just ask him how things are, what the problem might be.
We're developing a misfire, which seems to have, which I think is an alternator problem. I don't think it's enough power getting through the brain.
Mate, can anything further go wrong with your 1988 season?
I don't know, Pete.
I really don't know how you keep smiling. You come back week after week, and we mentioned earlier in the telecast, we'd just love to see you get a good budget and really show what you can do.
Oh, well, I just hope there's somebody out there that, because I'm sure we can do the job. You know, if we can do this on the sort of budget we've had, well, we can do anything given the right money.
Yeah, well, Andy isn't all that excited at the moment, Mike, as you can appreciate.
Well, he's leaving you.
Colin Bond has left him in the meantime.
Oh, there's Murray Carter, got it sideways going down the hill. Bit of rally cross out there. Channel 7's Pride and Joy. Neil Crompton, car number 7, coming up through the field. With Andrew Medecky having that pit stop, that's moved everyone up the road just a little bit. Colin Bond now moves into 3rd. George Fury potentially 4th. Jim Richards 5th. Oh, there was. Oops. I'd say. He's into those salutes to other drivers. Something we'll have to cure him of. I don't know where he's picked it up. It's a terrible trait. Something obviously they do in Ballarat.
Well, he's doing the right thing there. Yeah.
Thanks, Pally.
Looking after his own.
Yes, well, it was Murray Carter, actually. I think young Neil drifted across the front of, or someone else. However, they're keeping him fairly busy out there on the racetrack. Jimmy Richards, car number 1, the man who won the Australian Touring Car Championship, running one of the BMW M3s last year for Frank Gardner's JPS BMW team.
Jim's running 5th. Oh, Madecki's back in again, so that's the end of the day for him, I think.
I'd say so. I don't think he'd be ready for another interview, Pete, so forget that. He's just having a wretched time. Now, what's